Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Horton. Today is the 7th December. It is now 20 minutes to 12 o'clock in Switzerland. First of all, I would like to thank absolutely everybody. First of all, Richie Allen for allowing me to come on the show. He really gave me the opportunity at very, very short notice. I tweeted at him in utter desperation, and he literally called me straight away and arranged to allow me to come on the show the same day. This was absolutely unbelievable, and I'm so absolutely grateful. I've been trying to get through to people for pretty much 11 months, and he was the first person who immediately jumped and actually offered me help and offered me to get through to you. And I can't tell you just how relieved I felt last night. And I also want to thank absolutely everybody who was listening last night, because I know it was very late in the evening, and listening to such heavy topics, I'm very, very impressed by anybody who tunes into these shows and actually listens to people talking about all this heavy going stuff. Because everyone has so much going on in their life and also their own problems, and when you have the capacity to listen to other people's problems, it really shows that you are an extraordinary person. And I'm so grateful for everybody who gave me their time last night. We also overran like by 50%, and I was just amazed that Richie allowed me to continue talking, and I'm very, very grateful, and all I can say is I want to make it worth your while. If you tuned in last night, or if you're just following my YouTube channel now, you're probably wondering who the hell I am. And today I want to put up some more information about me and what has been going on, because what this actually is a desperate plea to everybody, to you, to all the listeners and viewers, to please help me save my life. I am absolutely desperate. I have been at the mercy of a terror campaign that has been going on for now half a decade, but the last year and escalated into systematic physical assaults that now are happening every hour and sometimes every 3 seconds. And it's literally just what I find myself on. I truly believe that to be the case, an actual extermination program that is being run against dissidents and people who don't want to submit to a crime cartel that seems to be infecting our societies. But what I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to put out more information throughout the day today and also this week, and I will keep people absolutely posted all the time what I'm doing, because what is affecting me is also affecting thousands and thousands of people right now, and has been affecting people for actually decades, and they have come forward and they were not taken seriously. By professionals, by their family and friends, and I think that has to be changed. And because we're running towards Christmas, and this is really, really urgent, I would like to turn this into a Christmas appeal, actually. In the ideal world, by Christmas, we could help absolutely every single person who's suffering at the hands of this terror campaign, find out who they are, and have the community lock around them to have these, first of all, make these bastards stop, and second of all, have these bastards brought to justice. Because the truth is that people have been systematically intimidated, systematically tortured, and some of them tortured to death, some of them driven to suicide, and some of them just straight out murdered by these criminals. And what I think, to cut to the end of the chase, what this is I think it is essentially an organised crime takeover, or infection, if you like. And organised crime has networked itself, has infested government organisations, and as organised crime does, as organised crime always did, which is act criminal and essentially take people out if they do not comply. The mafia, or the Italians, don't have a monopoly on mafia-like, organisations. They crop up everywhere, in every single country. And to think about it in terms of nationalities is wrong. I always say it's much better to think about it in terms of psychopaths. Okay, it is a scientific fact that 1% of our population are clinical psychopaths. Not all of them flip. Not all of them are plain evil. In its key, psychopaths are just people without empathy. They lack, if you like, the neurological structure to feel empathy. But that doesn't mean they're killing machines. You know, some people who are psychopaths are highly functional. They are scientists, and you know, they just don't know what the fuss is about when people burst out crying watching films, or when people see loved ones die. You know, they are pretty much unaffected. They learn to emulate us as children, which makes them functional in society. And some of them stay functional at the end of their lives. You know, and in a sense, they are just different to us. Like people who are colorblind, you know, they don't really know why you buy a certain jumper because you like the color, you know, or it might even look revolting to him because he sees colors differently. So if you think about it like that, it's pretty clear that in every society, takeover by criminals is an ongoing problem. And it has been an ongoing problem, it will remain an ongoing problem, but there are differences in society how we deal with this. If we don't deal with this, we literally will have a mafia infestation like happened in Italy, and it will be essentially take you centuries, you know, if not millennia, to actually weed it out. So we all have to deal with it. So basically what I would like, you know, to do is to sensitize you to this topic. It is extremely, in the beginning, I mean, last night on the radio show I said that if you first start hearing about this and you're not a clinical psychopath, at some point you start feeling physically sick, because it's terrifying, it's horrifying, it's just awful, it's talking about sick crimes, really just disgusting sadism, and you will feel physically sick. And I just want to say, first of all, that's normal, but second of all, you can push through that and get to actually a point where you even feel positive about it. And the way this works is that at first you feel sick, then when you realize that this has been done to innocent and really good people for ages, and absolutely disgusting, careless bastards have been just enforcing themselves on the weakest, you should get angry. You should get really, really angry. And this is essentially the energy that will propel you out of the physical sickness into a state of action. Okay, so when you're listening to my videos and you feel sick, don't switch off, stay to the end, and I'll try to have the same sort of pattern. At first I'll make you feel sick, then hopefully I'll make you feel really angry, and towards the end I'll show you where you can channel that anger so that we can move forward on this, because it's absolutely urgent. People are essentially being tortured to death. They are being systematically neurologically degraded. Their bodily integrity is being degraded. They're artificially being given sometimes horrific diseases. They are being infected with stuff. And all of this is being done by the criminals, essentially. And the criminals have moved past the point where they're just pickpockets or, burglars. They actually wear suits, they drive fancy cars, and they are sometimes by now in government and in the local council and things like that. And they are networked. But, that shouldn't scare us. It also shouldn't surprise us. So this is what it is. So today I'll explain to you who I am, what these micro weapons are that I was talking about last night. But I would also like you to understand that this is an appeal. It's a Christmas appeal for help. It's a humanitarian appeal. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I'm actually an atheist. My friends are also Muslims, and we always say, we do celebrate Christmas together, and we always say, we're celebrating Santa. It's almost like if you like, a capitalist celebration that everybody can agree on, or you say it's actually a humanitarian celebration, okay? And then again, we can all agree on this, right? It's not about being Christian or being Muslim, it's about being human, okay? And for historical reasons, here in the Western world, we ended up with this celebration that everyone is essentially, sucked into through commercials and everything. And what these companies want us to do is to have this as a celebration of just spending, celebration of buying. And some buying and spending is perfectly okay, right? I mean, it preserves jobs and you give your loved ones stuff that they really want to. But I think all of us by now have saturated on this stuff in the home, okay? So what if we go back to what this originally was meant to be, which is not just about stuff, okay? About buying stuff and giving people stuff. It's about being with people and actually doing what we as humanity do best, which is be there for each other. So I don't know if you can maybe, sign up to that. I can't. I mean, in the next video, I want to keep this just as an appeal video, and in the next video, I'll tell you what just happened to me, and what keeps happening. But please, if you could possibly think, if you think this is a good idea, and you could possibly just, sign up to my channel, tune in, watch my videos, and see. But you don't have to agree with everything. And some of it might be just, really surprising or really scary. But the truth is, I need you, whoever you are. I've never met you, but I really, really need you desperately. And you might have friends or contacts who could really help me. And in return, because I will be a drain on your time if you listen to me, I will try to make it worth your while by saying something in every video that might benefit you in another aspect of your life, okay? I'll try to pass on to you what I know, maybe give you tips that you might find useful, or give you insights that you maybe haven't, had before, or that maybe other people have given to me and I can pass them on. So in a sense, if you think that, if you want cash back, maybe this would be your cash back. And I'll keep the video formats like that. In the beginning, I'll talk about all the scary stuff, make you maybe feel sick. If you can last through those 3 minutes, I'll spend 3 minutes making you really angry to kick you into action and remind you what, really as human beings we should actually be doing. And then the last 3 minutes, I'll, essentially give you maybe something that you might find useful. Sometimes the order might be mixed up because I don't script these things. I just talk to you. Okay, but this is essentially it. This is essentially what my YouTube channel is about. It's a desperate plea for my life and health, and that of my family, who all have been attacked, sometimes without knowing. And my friends have also been attacked, and I'll tell you how. It's about these scary weapons called microwave weapons and electromagnetic weapons. It's about the scary crime cartel that's just infecting our lives. And it's about how to turn that around. And ultimately what it's also about, because it's not just these problems we have in our life, it's not just microwave weapons that we're up against, or criminals, or psychopaths, or just lying, cheating bastards. There's just so much more going on, because whilst I'm fighting for my life, next to me, there are, for example, disabled people fighting for survival because their benefits have been withdrawn. And that's equally serious, because we're both dying, okay? If they don't eat, they die. If people don't stop shooting microwave guns into my head, I die, So we have to help all people who are dying this Christmas, okay? Or who are suffering, needlessly, and those who suffer and nothing can be done about it because they've got an illness we can't cure. We also have to help those, okay? And how to do that? Well, we can do this at the same time if we essentially interlock like cogs. Last night I mentioned that I'm also a systems analyst. Well, I'm actually a particle physicist, but I try to learn systems analysis to make human systems work. And I'm not the best systems analyst, but I'll tell you what I've learned and I'll pass it on to you. And if we play this, so this is one thing I've learned from systems analysis, you can solve many problems at the same time. And sometimes it's even faster if you solve several problems at the same time because of cross-pollination. Okay? Sometimes you learn something in one area, and if you apply it straight away to another problem you know about, you help both problems. Okay? And then it's like a ratchet. One progress in one field pulls you up in the other field. So if I figure something out, how to solve my problem, it might help somebody else who suffers from a completely different problem and first thought it's absolutely unrelated. Okay? So in a sense, this is also an experiment here. It's an experiment on, can we, crowd pool our expertise, our compassion, and our humanity to solve many, many problems at the same time. And I'll mention all the other problems, and I will play this as a game of volleyball, okay? So when I have the ball, I'll pass it on to you in these videos, and it's your responsibility to pass the ball to somebody else who you think can take the ball further on that topic, okay? So this is it. So thank you for listening last night. Thank you for listening now. I'm going to sit down and make lots and lots of videos. Some I have made yesterday, and I'll post them. And today you'll find out who I am and what I'm about and what I'm fighting against and what's going on. And yeah, keep tuned, and thank you so much for your time, and also thank you so much for your Twitter messages, because actually it's the very first time that I actually get positive responses. I also talked to, for example, Dr. Stephen Frost, who, if you Google Dr. Stephen Frost versus MOD, you'll find out who he is. He, when Dr. David Kelly, the weapons expert, the UK weapons expert, died, it was Dr. Stephen Frost who campaigned for a proper inquest. That was essentially Dr. Stephen Frost doing mainly, and lots of other doctors, but he was essentially the glue that held them all together, and really mobilized them to campaign to have his Dr. David Kelly's death investigated. Now, Dr. Stephen Frost is also fighting, his case. He's also desperately fighting. I met him at the end of October in Manchester, and he is fighting in the Manchester Tribunal, Employment Tribunal, because years after he fought for Dr. David Kelly's death inquest, he also ended up in trouble, and you can read all about that on in the newspapers. And his case is ongoing, and he will have another hearing in January, I believe. He's fighting the MOD because he got sacked. But you can read all about that. But Dr. Stephen Frost was essentially the very first person who offered his help. I heard about his case. I was really interested. And he's also a whistleblower, actually a multiple whistleblower. And, I was interested in his case by itself. And then I got in touch with him and told him about what's happening to me. And he's a doctor as well, a very good one. And he was the very first person who, instead of just rejecting me, said, okay, I think you should talk to this person, I think you could do this. It's okay, and one of the really good things he said to me, he said, listen, one thing I've learned as a doctor, there's always a solution to every problem. And that's what I tell my patients. We might not have found it yet, but we will find it eventually, okay? Whatever problem you have, there's always a solution, and we'll find it, okay? So, this is it. In this video, please, this is my message. Also check out Dr. Stephen Frost, because he's also one of us. He's also fighting. He's a good man. And that's it. So, please, if you like this idea of the Christmas appeal, maybe pass my Twitter handle to all your friends who think might be interested. And stay tuned, and today I'll tell you who I am. So thank you, and hopefully, I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later over Twitter, and bye for now.